All about ethanol. All about ethanol. All about ethanol.
To turn your car from a decorative combination of metal and plastic into a moving, boosting, skidding, lapping or cruising machine, you need fuel. Since cars were invented, we've had to burn things to make them move. Internal combustion engines won the race to the racetrack, and as we got better at refining petrol for higher energy content and more knock resistance, it became the choice for cars around the world. At first, petrol was a byproduct of making kerosene. It was seen as waste and it was burned off. With demand increasing by the day, two American inventors found a way to crack the heavier kerosene molecules into lighter molecules, which doubled the yield. From there, others found a way to further improve resistance to detonation in engines with additives like lead and even ethanol. Petrol from crude oil became one of the world's most important resources. Dependence on foreign sources of oil became common. Wars were started and ended over it, as millions of extra cars drove out of factories and onto the roads every year, keeping the accelerator pedal of the industrial age pinned. In the 70s, petrol cleaned up its act when the health hazards became apparent. Oil shortages then had the world begin to look for alternate sources of fuel to burn. Energy independence became more important than ever, and ethanol was thrown back into the spotlight. Archaeologists have been digging up 9,000-year-old artefacts with traces of it, and 800 years ago, Greek and Arabs figured out distillation, which to this day is the way that we can turn organic matter into fuel we can burn. The Model T Ford was designed to run on petrol or ethanol, but with prohibition and cheap petrol available after World War II, petrol cemented itself as the fuel of choice around for most of the world. A notable exception being Brazil, where its massive sugarcane industry encouraged a fuel they could produce locally. In 1992, the Energy Policy Act begins in the USA. This government policy kickstarts an industry requiring automakers to produce cars that can run on 85% ethanol. Millions of new ethanol-compatible flex fuel vehicles are produced, proving the influence government policy can have on the auto industry. However, the 85% blend can still be hard to find at the pump. Many countries have since followed suit, and the ethanol industry is slowly gaining momentum, proving it a viable alternative to non-renewable fossil fuels.